a weekend.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I missed that. We got a little issue going on at EOC. Yep, you're fine.
That's okay, thank you.
right,
Welcome
bye-bye.
back to the Scituate Planning Board, Thursday, June 26, 2025 meeting. As I said, one of our members is zooming in. Never thought I would use that as part of my lexicon ever. Can we go on to our 7 o'clock? Continued public meeting, site plan administrator review.
Start with your agenda, accepting
On my
the
agenda, I've
please.
never said that, no.
No, we
We
didn't
have
add
a
it.
posted agenda, is there a second?
Second.
Should be the chair just for that. All in favor?
Miss Lambert,
Yes.
Miss Lewis,
Yes.
Miss Burbine,
Yes.
Miss Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Pritchett. Be muted.
Or do we have to push that blue buttons?
Mr. Pritchard, are you good with the agenda, please?
How about if we hit okay?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, sorry, I was somehow
Motion
muted,
carried.
not sure why.
That's okay.
The motion carries.
Okay. 7 o'clock, continued public meeting, site plan administrator review, Kennedy's Country Garden, 85 Chief Justice Cushing Highway.
All right, so we've had a request for a continuance because they're not ready. As I kind of knew last time they weren't gonna be ready.
Okay, all right.
I move to accept the applicant's request to continue the public meeting for the site plan administrative review for relocation of a parking lot at 85 CJ Cushing Highway in Kennedy's Country Gardens until July 10th, 2025 at 6:30 PM, and continue the time for action for filing with the town clerk until July 31st, 2025.
Your second.
Second.
A roll call vote. Miss Burke,
Yes.
Miss Burbine,
Yes.
Miss Lambert,
Yes.
Miss Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Pritchard.
Yes,
The motion carries. Just a brief recess while we take care of something.
Somebody lost something. We can go on, we can do our own business, and your business and stuff if we want. I have to tell you that I don't know if our planning board interview is coming in or not. I heard you accepted a position.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that's
So,
that.
That's that, so I'm not doing that again, so, yeah.
It's my fault.
Both of us, we get together. All business, new business, correspondence, if he shows up, we'll interview. Okay? So, you want to approve the minutes? Okay. We all set? Good.
All right, move the minutes for June 12th, 2025.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Pritchard,
yes,
Miss Burke,
Yes.
Miss Burbine,
Yes.
Miss Lambert,
Yes,
and Lewis.
Yes.
Thank you, the motion carries.
did we spend any money? It's the last week.
I move to approve purchase order 2511642 in the amount of $137.08 to office supplies, and purchase order 2511736 in the amount of $109.21 for mileage reimbursement to the town planner.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Pritchard,
yes,
Miss Burbine,
Yes.
Miss Burke,
Yes.
Miss Lewis,
Yes.
Miss Lambert.
Yes,
Motion carries.
then we come to the reorganization of the planning board, which Mr. Pritchard is not here, should we put it off against you all?
He's
right
here.
Okay,
He's
here.
He's here.
Are you guys going to the?
No, ELC, you want to go to the safety complex up the street.
Oh, good, I'm glad he's coming back.
Oh, I have to.
It's three days, hold on.
Please stay
Sign
on
the door.
It says Central Police Station. Yep,
Thank you so much.
I'll see you up there.
You want to reorganize the planning board, I will nominate Patricia and Ms. Lewis to continue in chair and vice chair, and myself as the clerk.
second,
All in favor? Do we have to vote on this?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Ms. Burke,
Yes.
Ms. Burbine,
Yes.
Ms. Lambert,
Yes?
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Pritchard.
Yes.
Thank you, the motion carries.
Well, thank you for your support, and once more into the breach, here we go for another year.
And I get to read everything.
And we promise this year, zoning is not gonna be so complicated. Well, we don't know,
Well,
we're working
We don't
on
wanna.
that. So then we just need a liaison report, I have a liaison review.
CPC got canceled. And I went to Housing Partnership and got this big thing about housing.
Oh, like the planning, okay.
Yeah, that thing, that you, and
the Affordable Housing Trust.
Right, that's what I
And
got.
the draft housing
Right.
production
It's
plan.
about 100 pages long,
Oh, yes,
so,
that's tough reading.
yeah, that's about it.
The draft housing production plan will be coming, I mean, it's in a draft stage now, I've given my comments. The Housing Trust has to give their comments. Then at some point, it'll come to the planning board for, your support, and the select board for support. Has to be submitted by mid-November, because our plan runs out like December 15th.
But you should look every 5 years or something.
It's at every 5 year. I mean, some of the strategies are not, I really don't think that they're good for Scituate, but, we'll see how she adjusts some of the comments I said.
Who's she?
Karen Sunborg is the housing consultant, she's done the past few plans. She does a lot of, towns around here.
And then I also need is your report, Karen, are you still working very hard?
Yes, so, one thing related to the housing production plan is, she asked me, Karen Sunborg asked me, if the board wants to pursue a financial feasibility analysis to go from, under MBTA communities, we can only have 10% affordable unless we do a financial feasibility analysis. We were 20%, 15 and 20% before we did this MBTA communities. Does the board want to pursue a financial feasibility analysis to go from 10 back to 15%?
Sorry, why do we have to do that?
I thought that only concerned itself with the MBTA mile thing, no one goes for everything.
Well, for the MBTA, we can only go 10%.
Yeah,
If they still have a special permit, they still have 20%.
Yeah.
In other, we have other sub-districts.
Now I understand what.
okay,
And so we have other areas too where the 15% would apply.
yeah.
But do you want to pursue a financial feasibility now? Do you want to go back up to 15 is the question. I mean,
How much will it cost to go back up to 15?
we'd have to get a grant to pursue this. That's a question I kind of asked her. I mean, I kind of said, it was my opinion that the developers always claim it's not even feasible to construct the affordable units that they have to construct.
Right.
And so, and I didn't really get a response. I mean, some towns have done it,
Yeah.
but there are grants available to do it. I just don't know, does the board want to pursue a grant for that?
So this is us, I'm sorry, this is us increasing our amount to 15%?
Yeah, from 10% in MBTA communities.
Only
They're just making us up.
And that was our original goal, right?
That was our original goal, but I mean,
Uh-huh.
you hear the complaints we get all the time from every developer coming in here, it's not feasible to construct the affordable units. And so I get that as a whole, we're supposed to have 10% affordable.
Yeah.
But,
And wasn't that the purpose of the MBTA communities?
Yeah.
Bill, to have
affordable.
no, affordable wasn't, no.
they they maintained it affordable, but they only added the affordable component
Yeah.
later on, after so many communities complained. It's because you're adding a whole bunch more units, and so your number that you keep having to achieve to get to 10% is, it goes up. But by having more multifamily housing, you're supposedly having more affordable type living.
I don't believe that.
Well,
Or I don't, but I'd like to read it here from here. Do we have a definitive decision now?
no, you don't, I mean, it's just that I've been asked this question, and my first answer has been I'm not sure the board wants to support that.
You get so much pushback at 10.
We do, we get a lot of pushback at 10.
I personally can't see going after that. I think it's worth our time to do that. We already get too much pushback at 10. We don't have so much more to build. I mean, look at it that way. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of land.
But when you end up with the 25 units over on Cannon Road, that one affordable unit, if we had this 15%, would they have had to put in two?
Well,
They have already two.
Oh, they have two.
Yeah.
At 340 Gannett, they have two.
Yeah.
On the other one site is 5, one is 10. No, they would have only had to do one.
But if we got this grant and went up to 15%, would 340 Gannett Road have had to do 3? No?
I don't know.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah, let it go.
For us, I don't think
It's not worth
it's
it.
not worth it. To put all that time and effort into something that may not even happen.
Speaking of Countryway, how did it go with the, looking at the pipes?
So the pipes, as no surprise to anyone sitting on this board, are clogged. There's a catch basin in front of 799 Countryway that there's one 8-inch pipe at the top of the catch basin that's full of water. There's a 12-inch pipe further down that's clogged. And then so that it's clogged going across the street. And then when you're across the street, they did find the outlet of where it goes into Bound Brook, and that pipe is clogged too.
So no, it's going across the street, not to the pipe.
So I'm waiting for them to produce the camera-ing results. I'm setting up a meeting with DPW after I get the camera-ing results, and I just got their new site plan today of what they want to do. And they want to, of course, tie into that catch basin. So, I don't know, but I can't set the meeting up until Kevin gets back, until we get the camera-ing results.
But who's responsible for cleaning out those pipes? Is that
DPW.
DPW.
Yeah, where are they?
Well, I'm gonna say this out loud, they have a terrible history of keeping the infrastructure clean.
What's here for maintenance of the library
Yeah,
road?
they're up, that's how it is.
I mean, so this is all gonna come out when we have the meeting, and we'll see what they say.
And we even knew at the last meeting, we all said that, we're pretty sure the pipes have collapsed, yeah.
Well, they're clogged.
They're clogged.
He couldn't tell, he didn't think it was roots. He thinks it's just,
Detritus.
yes,
Yeah.
and you
Stuff
can't tell the shape of
Right,
it.
right.
Like plant matter.
You can't tell,
Leaves,
you can't really tell the whole status of the pipe when you can't see.
Yeah, so you don't know if the pipe collapsed or not.
Right.
Well, I'm not
If those
surprised
were
with that.
cleaned out, would that, this is the property where the neighbor keeps coming in complaining
Yes,
about how he's got
yeah,
all the water in
across the
his
street,
tenant's place.
Yeah.
Would that change that
Yeah.
situation?
Oh, I would hope so.
And-
Pipe.
Well, we think the water, Don McGill thinks the water going into the basement at 810 is groundwater, not surface.
So
water.
seeping.
So seepage, not caused from the pipe.
That's different.
That's different,
There's nothing-
groundwater's different.
And that's, there's a lot of ledge on that side of the
Right.
property.
So, it's a wait and see, you know, at this point. Hopefully we get the meeting in the next 2 weeks. But they did submit another submittal today.
I got another question, since we're just. Can DPW improve that? So they're gonna clean out the pipes, obviously, but maybe the pipes need to be fixed. Will they do that? And could we ask those people?
Well, that's what will come out of the meeting. That's exactly what will come out of the meeting. And we haven't heard, I haven't been told that we've heard back from the guy at 793. We sent a letter about cutting the tree so that they could extend the sidewalk. I haven't heard if we've heard back.
I have to tell you, I would be hard pressed to ask an applicant to replace the pipes in the middle of the street.
No, I know, I agree with you, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Maybe just, well, we do sometimes look for.
He's already given us a sidewalk.
Okay, he's already given us.
He's given us a
He's given
sidewalk.
us a sidewalk.
Yeah, which he doesn't have to do. He's extending the
Okay, so then,
sidewalk, which he
I
does.
forgot about the sidewalk, so then.
DPW needs to keep up with the maintenance.
Yeah.
So that'll be the subject of the meeting before the next meeting. We are going to have to unfortunately work on the stormwater regs. Town is going to be getting a letter that they're in violation of their NS4 permit. So we're gonna have to change a few things in the regs. We've been waiting until DEP changes their regs. And, you know, EPA doesn't care at this point. EPA is saying,
You have to go ahead.
change your stuff. So I haven't seen a letter yet. Sean has told me a few, you know, he hasn't gotten the stuff, but he explained that if we just have to change the regs, that's just a public hearing. If we have to change the bylaw too, that goes to town meeting.
Oh, the developers would just love that.
Well, EPA likes what we're doing.
Good.
EPA doesn't want us to go any looser than what we're doing.
Okay.
So, but that's a wait and see, so I'm just telling you that's gonna be coming up. I've taken a first look at building height that we need to address, and I think it's probably a relatively very easy modification to the bylaw.
So that's our zoning bylaw for the year.
I mean, so, but I'm gonna talk with Bob next week and then start to bring some other people in to discuss it. For the next meeting, so we'll have Kennedy's. Walter Sullivan submitted today a request for an insignificant change to add one more bedroom to the sale property. He called me and said, I'm gonna submit a modification. I said, how about we just try for an insignificant change? So that's gonna be coming up.
Is that dependent on their septic system now?
They're gonna build the 10-bedroom septic system. It is totally dependent on the septic system. Everybody thinks sewer's coming sooner than it is, but sewer's not. We'll probably have another revised A&R for the next meeting as well.
Where was that?
Clap Road. And then late today, we got an email that the NEPA comment period has been extended again for 21 Central. The comment period is extended to July 15th with a decision due July 25th. So they were supposed to file today to be on the July 24th meeting. That did not happen, so I will let their attorney know tomorrow, you missed your deadline. You know, you're gonna probably be back in September, which was the original date I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, well, everybody wants to hurry up and wait. So they think everything's gonna get done really fast.
Right. So that's where we are, you know. I don't know if you wanna go over your liaison list tonight, or if you wanna wait till we get an alternate. I mean,
We might not get an alternate until September at the rate they're going.
No, we're the ones who control the process, Anne.
I understand that, Karen, but by the time there's the meeting and it is.
We send resumes by July 15th. Because I know how much you guys want to get another, an alternate in here. We don't have any resumes yet,
Okay, everybody died to help us, okay.
so,
Okay,
and that's why I'm not going to submit this, we're not, since it's the same positions, I'm not submitting a new signature sheet to the land court and registry, because everything's the same.
okay.
But until we get a new alternate.
So can I, so if I look at this liaison list, the advisory committee, we can, I'm the other person for that, but we're always meeting here, I never seem to get there. Because I mean, here or it's zoning. So I can't,
I think it's one of those things that, you know, it sounds good, but it's not
I
gonna happen.
know.
It's a Wednesday, right?
Zoning is,
Zoning is always the third Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
Except tonight it's the fourth, because it was a holiday on the third.
Those pesky holidays.
What is today?
That's the pesky holidays.
well, okay, I'll keep what I have.
And I'll keep what I have.
Except it'd be nice if the Board of Health ever had a meeting, I'm just saying, like, they meet like once a
I
year.
like what I have too, I actually now know somebody on the Economic Development Commission, so
Okay.
she's gonna tell me to come. I said,
Just as good as I go, okay.
And may I, Ms. Lambert?
Yeah.
Thank you. So EDC changed their way that liaisons can report to make it easier for people who have conflicting schedules. So you can email your report ahead of time.
Oh,
So, but I mean, it'll be great if you're at the meetings, but just so you know.
and some of mine is just really sporadic, but, I do try to show up for anything that looks interesting. You watch a lot of stuff on the TV. I usually watch conservation, but you have too much conservation because they don't meet in person.
I really have a problem
Oh,
with
they
that.
don't?
Never, haven't since COVID.
Really?
I think that's ridiculous.
They don't wanna do that, they don't have to.
So is everybody okay with
Yep.
these?
And waterways is hybrid also. You don't have to, that's Miss Lewis,
That is what.
but that's hybrid, you can zoom in.
All right, then we'll keep,
And I will be at the next bylaw review committee, because I thought to go. To one of the meetings, because they tend to have them on the same night for their hours, but they pushed it up ahead or whatever they did.
Does Mr. Pritchard need a review? I don't know if he has this in front of him.
Steve, we'll email you the liaison list, it's the same as last year, unless you
No,
want to change
I'm
anything.
good with it. I'm good with it.
And, we're all set, like I said, I don't think there's anything, just tune in for whatever you think is interesting, that's it, I mean. But,
well, I'm just gonna, I had a conversation with Bruce Arbanese today of the Water Resource Commission. They think there's a little something wrong with a couple sentences in the Water Resource Protection District. So he said he was gonna get the bylaw changed. So I talked to him and I said, well, you probably really wanna come through us.
Yeah.
Because I'll work with you to get it what you think you want it. And, we have to have a public hearing,
Yeah.
et cetera.
And he said,
oh.
Okay.
Oh,
what is this person?
Mr. Alberts, he comes to me.
He comes to
meetings.
meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, we have seen.
When we send an application that's in the Water Resource Protection District, we get comments,
We get comments, yeah.
which is good.
And he appears, he's at the select board meetings as well, we do see him.
Yeah, we
He's
see him,
pretty
so-
involved.
So there might be some minor changes, coming down that line.
So I'm going to tell, when I go to the bylaw review committee, I think it's next week or whatever it is. I'm gonna affirm to them again that they do not touch anything that's in zoning, and that is our purview.
They just review stuff.
They're not supposed to review our stuff,
Bylaw review is,
not zoning. Not stuff that we bring to town meeting for, they are not supposed to review. That came from the select board.
That came from the
That's
select
fine.
board.
It's out of their purview because they don't come to our meetings. They don't have any idea what we're doing. And when we were doing the MBTA thing, I spent 3 hours with that committee explaining to them what we were doing, because they were gonna review it and say, no. I said, you don't have any right to do that, you don't really know what's going on. So they don't, and they were told by the select board that that purview does not include what we take up here.
The problem will be stormwater is a general bylaw.
Mhm.
And a lot of people, as you know,
Yeah.
want to get their mitts into stormwater.
Well, I think that we need to tell the bylaw review committee that when we are reviewing stormwater, you need to show up.
Right, I mean,
They need
if,
to
we
come.
may not even have to do the bylaw, we
Yeah.
just have to see what shakes out, that something is gonna be happening in the next, that we're gonna have to address stormwater.
This is a very well-meaning intended group, but they've never been involved in anything else in town, and they don't really understand.
we've been talking about stormwater since forever.
Yeah.
From way back when.
And it's not something that's, I mean, it's not an easy topic, and so you don't just.
Very complicated.
It's
It's
very
very complicated, and so, you know, we have had professional engineers review what we're proposing, et cetera, and so, you know, a group of lay people who is not, if that's not their, you know, expertise, it's a little hard.
And none of them were engineers.
And then the Steve Bajorka,
Yes,
Yes.
because he likes to put in his 47 cents worth.
52 cents sometimes.
That whatever.
Well, at some point, it's going to be important that we comply with our permit, and we have to do what we're gonna have to do.
Then we'll do it.
And so, whatever changes we have to make, we'll make, and if we can implement some of the ones we were working on for like 6 years, then maybe we can do that too.
Sounds good. So another interesting full year ahead of us. Yes? So I have to say that, since we don't have an alternate, we really need to make every effort we can for everybody to show up every single year without an alternate. We're kind of stuck. So,
Well, we lived for years without an alternate.
we're not gonna forward that to the public. We want an alternate.
That's,
In August, when my child has a baby,
Well, you might not
on
be there.
Thursday, I will not, we will not be, there you go, that's it.
Like I said, well, just try to make, like I said, if we can.
Maybe she'll have it on the off week.
No, you'll have to tell us, we're gonna plan this baby, we'll manifest that baby coming in the morning, so how's that?
Where is she delivering?
That one is delivering she'll be in Long Island.
Oh, that's a little bit of a ride, so we have to plan ahead with that. All right, then, so nothing else?
nothing else.
I will entertain a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn.
Second,
Mr. Pritchard,
Yes.
Ms. Burke,
yes.
Ms. Burbine,
Yes.
Ms. Lambert,
Yes?
Ms. Lewis.
Yes.
Motion carries.